Welcome back to the channel. We've got some exciting news that we thought we'd share. It's a rainy day, it's rainy and snowy here, and so we've hit a point where it's time for an update. We managed to finish all of the electrical, which is a huge bonus for us. That was a long project. Altogether, I figure I put in about 80 hours worth of work, maybe a little bit more, it depends, but I figure about 80 for sure, doing all of the electrical inside the house. Minus the fuse panel, which we'll do here next in a little later video. But we did all of the interior wiring, all of the lighting, and then the outside meter socket, and that includes two change out there to put in the correct one. But that's huge for us. So with that completed, it was time to call in for our electrical inspection, and I am happy to say that we passed on our first attempt on getting the rough-in inspection completed. It's a huge milestone for this build for me. I'm pretty proud of that fact. And to be in all candid honesty here, as a do-it-yourself builder, I have never done electrical to this scope. And so I had honestly set my expectations pretty low that that I wouldn't pass, or I would have that I wouldn't pass. That I'd have some things that I needed to correct and to go over, which is only natural that would happen. And I had explained that to the inspector prior to the inspection, which was kind of golden. And so when he got here, he helped me out and went through everything with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that I did everything correctly. And it was a little bit nerve-wracking to have that done, but it was also pretty rewarding considering he went through and found nothing that needed to be fixed, changed, or updated. We managed to pass everything with flying colors. In fact, we went overboard on some of his expectations, like foaming all of our holes, all of our drill hole pass-through holes, and the ones through the floor, and then our cabling underneath the house, and how we had all that stapled and nailed together correctly was a huge bonus. So that was a big relief. Like I said, we managed to pass our electrical inspection, which is a huge project for us to have completed. And on another note here too, I figure with this, just to give you an idea, since I said I would start talking more about the costs and what things run and what they end up costing us. Altogether, the total cost for all of the electrical materials, from the meter socket to all of the wiring to the fuses for this box here, including this panel, everything total electrical wise in this house to get to passing on the rough-in inspection cost me $4,474, and that's all of the materials. And then I factored in, because we did have the one electrician come out and just kind of look things over for me, and talking with him, he charges a rate of $75 an hour, which I'm assuming is pretty mid-range. I mean, there's probably some more out there that are higher, but I figure at $75 an hour for that 80 hours, I saved myself about $6,000 in labor costs in doing this project myself. So that's why we took it on, and that's been pretty beneficial to us to have saved that much money in doing this. And doing it correctly, which is a major thing for me. The next phase of our electrical is going to be a big one, and it's going to be another month out because, like I said, right now we've got rain and snow. We're still in the season where things are pretty muddy and nasty, which kind of prevents some of the tractor work that we need to do coming up. But we still need to trench from the pole at the edge of the property all the way to the house. We'll have to dig a 3-foot deep trench. Install 3-inch PVC conduit in there, Schedule 40 conduit, and then put that all the way up to the the meter socket out there. That's the next phase of the project, and that will be a little bit later. Another big thing for us, not for me, well, it is for me, but primarily for Colleen. A little bit of backstory here, but originally we had planned on having or got an estimate for somebody to install our septic system. That estimate came in at about $18,500 for them to do that work, which was considerably high for what we had planned on for that, based on the design we have from the county and from the septic system planner. And so we found out through our county here in Lake County that if we took the installer examination, we could get the certification on our side to be able to dig the septic system out ourselves, put in all the pipe and rock and the septic tank, and run the pump and all that. We could do that ourselves, which is a massive savings. You know, initial estimates for us to do this ourselves is probably around $4,000 to $6,000 for the base materials and tractor rentals and all of that we're going to need to do that. And I'll do the septic system at the same time as I dig out the trench for the electrical. That way we're killing two birds with one stone. But anyway, since we found out from the county that we've got the ability to take that test, Colleen took on the task of doing that and studying for that exam. And that was a huge undertaking. And she came out and managed to pass that with flying colors, which is an amazing job, and I'm very proud of her for getting that done. And so we are now in the clear to do our own septic system. So that's two things, major milestones that we've managed to get through and sign off. As one is the electrical rough-in pass, and then the second is passing the septic installer's examination, which Colleen got. Those are two big hurdles out of our way, and the only two inspections that are required for where we're at in Montana for building is the electrical and the septic. So those are massive pieces of the equation that are now out of the loop, and now we can continue on with our build and do this ourselves. So when we go to do the septic, all we're going to need is the final septic inspection, which is done by the woman who designed our system for the county to approve. So we'll get that going here probably next month. At least that's the plan. Another big thing that we had decided to do when we're talking about project updates is we've got two projects we're going to farm out. One is the fireplace. When it comes to installing the fireplace, I was going to do the chimney run myself, but based on the cost of the stove and all that we bought the pellet stove from, it's easier to have the guys do the stove pipe as well. It's part of the installation costs, or the cost of the stove is negligible to what it would cost me to do that, and to make sure that it fits directly with the stove and pipe all run together. Because we built that fireplace thing, that's going to be enclosed, and we're going to put a thing called evolved stone on the outside of that. I'd rather have that whole system checked off and make sure that there's no leaks or problems before I enclose that in with plywood and the blocking. The second big project that we're going to farm out is the heating system for this house. The major problem that we found with the heating in here is that we tried like hell to research exactly what we were going to do as far as getting heat, the heat exchanger and the actual heater itself. And to try and find that is here in this state is a monster, and I'm sure in other states as well. But what we found is that you cannot buy the furnace itself, at least a good one like a York or one of those. You cannot buy those from Home Depot or Lowe's or anything like that, a significant enough one anyway. They do sell mobile home ones, but significant one enough to heat this house. And so when we contacted and reached out to HVAC installers, they would not sell the units themselves because of liability reasons, and also they want to make money at doing the install. And so we shopped around and decided that it was better to go ahead and have somebody do that install for us, which is a huge project in itself. And so we found out through our estimates that ranged anywhere from $15,000 to $35,000 to just do the heating in this house, which is a massive amount of money, and I'd rather save that and do it myself, but I'm finding it's been really difficult to find that. So we managed to get a hold of a contractor on the low end, on the $15,000 side. It's a lot of money to spend, but I want it done correctly and in the time frame that we need it. And so we decided to go with High Mountain Heating and Air, and they will be installing that here shortly. So we've gotten some pretty good things going. That's pretty incredible stuff to have the septic permits signed off and to have the electrical signed off. We've got some upcoming projects here over the next couple weeks. We're going to try and get the 2 big sliders in the main window into the house. I've got my friend Tom and a couple other guys are going to come over. It's going to need 4 guys to try and get that project completed and wrapped up. But I want to get those main windows in and get that done. And so far, over this last couple weeks, like I said, we've managed to get the fireplace framing done. We got this wall truss done, which is huge. And then the next thing we're going to do, also on the project stuff coming up, is we're going to get a front porch built on here because I'm tired of walking up the planks in the front of the house to get over that open pit that is the foundation for the front porch. Next, and also on the list is to get the above the porch enclosed, so that we get the house enclosed in. One problem we're having, it's a major problem for me anyway, is magpies keep flying into the house and roosting up in the trusses and pooping all over the place, and that's driving me absolutely crazy. So it's a goal to get that front porch enclosed and get that sealed up so that way we can get this house closed in 100%, which would be nice. And then also coming up is the last 3 windows. The upper windows, we did get those. It took about 20 weeks to get those on site here, but we did get those here, and now it's a matter of logistics of renting a lift to get those done. And one of the other big projects we're going to try and get accomplished at the same time they're doing the heating and air, we're going to run all of the duct work for the dryer vent and the 2 ceiling fans. We're going to try and get that done. So I need to try and get the belly bands on this house trim-wise because we're going to have to drill through those in order to get those things out there. So we've got a lot of projects upcoming, some big stuff coming up that I'm pretty excited about, and that's trying to get all that done because in the middle of all this, we do plan on making a trip down to California to see family, and so we've got a lot of work ahead of us before we make that trip down there. But after we come back from that trip is when we're going to get started on all the trenching and the machine work that we need, and hopefully we'll start getting started on some of the trim work and some of the siding. At least that's the plan. That's what I'm hoping to get done here over the next few months or the month or so that it's going to be raining off and on and being kind of nasty. I want to try and get as much indoor work as I can done and some of the outdoor work that I can accomplished in that. And I certainly appreciate you sitting through all of this. I know it's been a lot of videos on electrical, but that really was a huge undertaking and a big project for me to do that. You know, some stuff seems pretty basic and it is pretty easy to learn, you know, just like wiring the rooms and doing that. But there takes a lot of planning and thought into how you're going to run your wire, where, and also especially what the electrical code calls for. And the different wire sizes. I mean, we had 4 different wire sizes that we used in this house, which is pretty amazing to have gotten that. So anyway, just to recap, we managed to get our electrical signed off. We got our septic ready to go and ready to start digging that. We've got all of the electrical in here completed, which is a big thing for that. And also, I wanted to say that one of our last big orders for this house, and now we're getting close. I still got a punch list of things to do inside this house before we get to it. But I ordered all of the insulation for the house, the sheetrock for this house, and for the inside finished trim work. That's the last of the big orders for inside the house that we need. Like I said, we've got right there, we've got the doors, all the interior doors to the house. We've got this door right here for the pantry is going to be a sliding barn door for there, and also a sliding barn door for inside the closet in the master bedroom closet. And those are on site and stored in the garage as well. So we've got all the doors on site. We've got everything we need to do the interior of this house. And now that we've got the electrical signed off, we can start doing that work once we get these materials here. I'm going to have the insulation delivered first, and I may store the finished work in the finished woodwork in the shop. So we've got that, and I'm going to hold off on the drywall until we get past the rainy season here, and until we're ready for it to be moved into the interior of the house. But we're coming along. We're getting there with that. It's a big deal. Anyway, again, I appreciate your patience on all of the electrical videos. I know there was a lot. Hopefully you got a lot out of that. Anyway, I appreciate it. If you like this type of thing, please remember to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel out. We've gotten to 600 subscribers, which for me is pretty huge. I know in the YouTube world it's not even a blip on the radar, but for us to have 600 people, especially some loyal people that we've got that watch us, is pretty amazing to me. I'm always thrilled to see all the comments and all of the praise and things that we get from the work that we're doing. Anyway, again, thanks for watching.